short video of a few questions I've been asked just from some other Poke collectors in the community. But here's our YouTube channel, Pokesoda. Give us a like, subscribe, and share. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, someone was asking, tell me about the reprints. How much is going to be reprinted or what's going to happen there? And that's not exactly how it works, okay? Now, let's just take a look at a data point here. Here's Walmart, okay? You'll see these 151 booster bundle boxes. They are going down in price, all right? Now, when we click on this, you're going to see who this is sold by, okay? J&M Collectibles, okay? Not GT Collectibles, but J&M. Now, these prices are going down slowly, and you're seeing it with surging sparks as well. Now, there's a difference between a reprint and a restock, okay? So Pokemon, they don't do anything else except print packs. That's it, okay? Whenever you have a box, whether it be a Super Premium Collection, Ultra Premium Collection, ETB, Build-in Battles, booster boxes, whatever it may be, okay? Pokemon just prints packs. That's it, all right? Now, the booster boxes, I believe those are packaged by Pokemon Company, but for all the other stuff that Pokemon Company, they do package, they grab them off a pallet over here. So they have pallets of packs, and they put them into these surprise boxes, these collection boxes, whatever it may be. That's not a reprint. That's just a restock, okay? Now, this is what happens when, let's say, a great example, XY Roaring Skies. Very, very playable set from 2015, okay? They didn't print enough of it. So it went through this more than once before. It happened in 2021, and it happened back in about 2015, 2016. That's why XY Evolutions got printed so much. It got printed a ton, okay? You could buy XY Evolutions all the way up until 2022 in some boxes because they just were adding them. Because Pokemon would say, hey, we got to add some packs to this box. They'd go over to the pallet, grab a pack, put it in there and say, okay, we're getting rid of this product. For all those other packs they don't get rid of, they sell them to someone. And who do they usually sell them to? MJ Holding, okay? MJ Holding will say, hey, we'll take all those extra packs. And then that's when they make all those nice surprise boxes for you. The ones that have the chance of a vintage pack or something, okay? Those are the ones that are made by a secondary market. MJ Holding is the one that makes those. The lightning boxes that you can find at Walgreens that have 3 packs plus a card or like sometimes a pin, those are typically MJ Holding that makes those, okay? So they just buy a bunch of these packs that are just laying around that Pokemon, they want to keep pushing the sets forward, okay? Now, the other thing is too, is when you have a restock, this can happen in the stores as well. And so that's why sometimes you'll see things being restocked, like it'll just be booster bundles or ETB. One of the restocks I can remember the most was Vivid Voltage, and that was a reprint. When Vivid Voltage reprinted, you could find booster box after booster box. They were everywhere. But usually reprints will yield some booster boxes. Restocks won't do that. They only put so many booster boxes out there typically. The rest of the stuff will just come in other packs because it's the best way for Pokemon to sell the products. So again, with XY Roaring Skies, they didn't print enough of that. And so the people that collect versus play, because there's a lot of people that play. The people that play the game, there wasn't enough of the XY Roaring Skies to go around. And so Pokemon mass produced it. You could find XY Roaring Skies forever. I remember buying sleeve packs from, I think, Family Dollar. You could buy as many as you wanted online for $5 a piece. That was in 2021 or 2022. I remember buying hundreds of them and opening them up. That's why I own almost every XY Roaring Sky card there is, because they were so abundantly available. They reprinted them years afterwards. Another time that happened, Hidden Fates, this happened forever. It was the COVID era, but I could find those on the shelf all the way up until 2022. Every now and then you catch a restock where there'd be one on there. That's because Pokemon would say, hey, we got these packs hanging out. Let's just go ahead and put those in there. Now, you have to think about it too in order for the Pokemon. Pokemon, every time they have to do a reprint, they have to shut those machines down, recalibrate them, and get ready to reprint the cards. That costs Pokemon money. They don't want to do that. Pokemon wants those machines to run at capacity all the time, okay? So when they do a reprint, it's usually going to be 8 months past the process when they've already printed. Pokemon is such an efficient machine that they're probably working on sets that are far beyond just, we have the next one, the Destined Rivals. Then we're going to have a Mega set and then a black and white set. They're probably already into 2027 or 2028 calendar trying to get some of that stuff created. They're an efficient machine. Reprints don't typically happen very often. Okay. They do have cards that they will hold back. They won't put all of them out in stock, but those are typically ones they just have in pallets and they will stuff those into boxes. That's why Cosmic Eclipse is special of a set as that is. You could find Cosmic Eclipse. The Arceus V box, when Brilliant Stars came out, has a Cosmic Eclipse pack in it. So when you have a reprint and a restock, just don't get the two confused. Okay. Now for distributors, okay, some distributors, if they get called up or they call up a local card shop and say, hey, how many of these do you want? Then it's probably a reprint. If they say, I have this many available, do you want some? It's probably a restock. Okay. So I know right now Walmart's, they're getting super duper stocked for the most part. You're seeing a lot of the same stuff, but they're getting a lot of product stocked in there. This is where Crown Zenith comes in. You're seeing a lot of Crown Zenith still coming out with the tins, and you're seeing the Reggie Leak and Reggie Geeky boxes. You're seeing those because they're saying, hey, we have these Crown Zenith packs. Sea and Sky, we're not really doing those anymore. So let's put them in something else. They pump those in the tins. They pump them in the Reggie Leaky and Reggie Geeky boxes. Okay, so that's what they're doing right there with the restock of it. They're not printing the Crown Zenith again. It's just they have an abundance of it. They want to get rid of the packs. The same's going with 151. 151, they produced a ton of it. The reason we know that is because if you went to Costco when Pokemon wasn't a big deal, they had pallets of the premium collections, just pallets of them. These tins, the mini tins and the ETBs, they sat on the shelf. I remember walking into Walmart and that was what I wasn't buying because 151, once I mastered the set, it wasn't even that fun to open anymore. Like I knew the cards had some value and stuff, but really when 151 was like at its lull, when people weren't buying it, the cards weren't worth that much. Like you weren't opening them and thinking like, oh, this is awesome. Like the Alakazam, the Zapdos, the specials, nothing. They weren't worth that much at all. The Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, they were pretty good cards, but there really wasn't much going on until about November, December is when they started going up. Okay, of 2024. So was there a reprint on 151? I don't know. That's going to be pretty debatable for me, but I know they definitely had a restock of it. That's why you keep seeing this stuff going through and you keep seeing a lot of the stuff with 151 coming out with different things. The Blooming Waters, I mean, they printed a ton of those. Those are still hard to find because everybody is buying them. You'll see Blooming Waters starting to trickle out a little bit more throughout the year, but people are eventually going to start trying to dump them a little bit because a lot of people went pretty heavy on them. Okay. So that's my little rant on restock versus reprint. Okay. The other one I had was everybody's seen this. It was the fight between NostalgiaNomics with Alex, and then you had PokePlumber with Nick. Okay. So if you're not familiar with it, you have these two go at it. Okay. Now, these two had a podcast. It was the Collector and the Investor podcast, where the investor was NostalgiaNomics, Alex, and the collector was Nick with the PokePlumber. Now, these two, I mean, they've pretty much divorced by this time, but the two videos they both put up talking about, like, you know, calling each other out about stuff, they've both taken those down now. I'm sure it's a defamation type deal. The problem is they had a podcast together. Nick, I don't know if you ever watched my video, but Nick, you were typically always late for the podcast. Like, I know you have a lot of stuff going on. I got a family too. I got a business I own. I have a career that I do as well, so I know it can be busy. Alex doesn't have a lot of that stuff, so I get it. But Nick, you rightfully so, you were typically late for the podcast. It didn't feel like a lot of people think that you come off as a little bit of a snob, I guess, is what it is. Okay. Both of you guys have great advice. Both of you are fun to watch. Okay. Now, the thing with this is that I don't think that Nick absolutely outgrew Alex's friendship or anything like that. I just think that Alex was wanting more out of it than Nick was wanting to put into it. And I think that's just kind of what it came down to. So these two kind of bitched and bickered back and forth with each other, but hopefully they become friends later on. But Possum Bud and some other people, you know, Poke Vault or something had a video on it, but it was pretty good. The videos had been taken down and stuff like that, but NostalgiaNomics had about an hour-long video about it. It was just not about that, though, but it tried to air everything out. And then PokePlumber had a 12-minute video out kind of showing, you know, basically, you know, don't try to defame me. This is definitely not my fault. This is your fault. But it's just crazy to see this stuff happen in the Pokemon like sphere. Like it is seriously just drama that a middle school type thing goes through. But the thing is, though, is I can get it. I understand what's going on with you two, and hopefully you guys can reconcile and still be friends and stuff like that, because it's just a space where a lot of people are trying to have fun and trying to, just collect cards and invest. 100% correct to that, where all investors are collectors, because essentially we are all one and the same. Some people do it for just the dollar signs at the end, and some people do it for just their collection. But if you get a chance, check these guys out. Of course, they're always pretty good. They have different styles. They talk about it, like I said, with NostalgiaNomics being more the investing side, and then the collector side being more the PokePlumber. But it's always, I don't know, it's always very interesting to see some of this stuff. But here we are, guys. We are PokePlumber. If you get a chance, check out our videos, give us a like, subscribe, and share, and let us know what we can do a video that you're going to enjoy a little bit more, whether it be collecting, investing. We just got a ton of PSA slabs in, 140 of them. We're going to do an unveiling on those. I've seen all the grades already, and the new grading system's a little bit tough on PSA, but hopefully I can try to help some people out there so they don't make the same mistake I did in my last submission. But like, subscribe, share, guys. Remember, catch them all.